welcome back to the Gubba Homestead. I'm Gubba, and today I have a special guest in the kitchen, my mom.
Hi everybody.
So this is Gubba, and a few videos ago we did a conspiracy theory video to see if my mom was a conspiracy theorist. But today we are in the kitchen and we are going to be baking because my mom brought a ton of her beets that she grew in her garden. So tell me a little bit, why did you choose these beets?
The health benefits. I have multiple health benefits, and this is my first year that I grew them, and I'm not, they're okay to eat, but I wanted to dehydrate them to make them into powder.
Yeah, so we're going to be dehydrating beets, but we're also going to be making beet brownies because we had so many beets. Not only that, she brought me a ton of potatoes from her garden and carrots. So what did your garden look like this year?
We had carrots, potatoes,
tomatoes.
Yep.
Garlic.
Yes.
Garlic was crazy.
Strawberries, peppers, parsley, cilantro,
onions, raspberries.
Yep, raspberries.
Was there anything else?
No.
Their garden was absolutely amazing. And what, it's 0.3 acre? Not even? Something around there?
Something around.
Anyways, so they're in the city and they're homesteading in the city. I mean, you guys had a crazier garden than I did this year in regards to everything that you got. You guys had such a huge return. Aren't you guys still picking potatoes?
Yes.
They're still picking potatoes. I was excited, and there's these beautiful swirl beets that I posted, and people shared they were what, Chiaga?
I think that's the name of them.
I think Chiaga
Quite
beets.
Interesting. Yeah.
But we are going to dehydrate these because she wants to turn these into a powder, and we're going to get started on the brownies, and that's what we're doing. And we're going to see like beet brownies. I saw a lot of people bake with beets.
Yeah,
we've
we'll
never
see.
tried
I
it.
bet they'll be good.
So we're gonna get dehydrating first, and then we'll get started on the brownies. I have all the ingredients laid out. I have my brownie glass pan greased and our double boiler ready to go with chocolate chips, and we're gonna add our butter in. And I'm just excited because brownies sound really good.
Well, I'm excited to get these into powder because they say it's supposed to energize you to exercise, which I just set up a gym, so I need to get that energy to get out there. And blood pressure, there's many health benefits, but so we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're going to dehydrate these and then you grind them into powder.
Yep.
And what were you saying? Like a little thing of powder of beets was like $35 or something?
For a smaller bag of them, yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
So let's get started. So right here we have our little dehydrator trays, and dehydrating is a method of food storage. It's pretty neat because it removes like 70 to 80% of the moisture from whatever you are dehydrating. So it extends the shelf life of your food, and it's a great way to make things like jerky or fruit leather. And I get the question a lot of dehydrating versus freeze drying, which we actually went back and forth what we wanted to do for the beets. To get a powder though, it's a preference to do dehydrating. You could freeze dry them as well, and what freeze drying does is it takes all of the moisture out, so then you could preserve this beet for up to 30 years in a Mylar bag, which is really cool for food storage. Another thing is these beets were so hard to cut. We realized we needed a mandolin.
Yes.
They are a tough vegetable. So we just got these trays filled.
Yeah, but I have a question for you.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you have them where they're touching? Can you put them together, or do they have to be apart?
So when you're dehydrating, it's actually better to have a little bit of space because the dehydrator is going to be blowing in through that warm air. So if you have a little space, it helps dehydrate quicker, in my opinion and in my experience. So I do like to have a little space. Thank you for reminding me because I just stacked them. Just a little space, but
okay.
Yeah, here's our trays. And we're going to load them in. We just loaded in our first 2 trays, and I'm thinking we might need 5 trays total, so these are 3 and 4. Just a guess. How many would you say?
Yeah, I would think, but my question is, can you do with thin? On the same tray.
Yes, on the same tray you totally can, but the thicker ones will probably have a longer dehydrating time. So this is going to be between 12 to 16 hours. It may be even a little longer. So I'll just be checking whenever the cycle is done.
So my next question, so we have this size and then we have really big. Can these both go on the same tray?
Yeah, because it's just going to be circulating through that warm air to dehydrate the veggies. So yep. Little and big, but the little ones are going to dehydrate faster.
And it doesn't hurt them to sit in longer. Okay.
No, what we'll do is we'll check, and then if there's some that are completely done, we'll just take them out, put these ones back in. Yep.
I thought you set it in for a certain amount of time and you couldn't open it again.
You do, but when the cycle's done, you can open it and check on everything.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm learning.
So we're gonna need one more tray, it looks like. I'm gonna grab that. And look at how pretty these trays are. So our trays are finished, and these are so pretty with all the different beets. Vegetables are pretty, gardens are pretty, and what's so cool is when you grow your own produce, you have so much variety as compared to what's in the store. Have you noticed that?
Oh,
tomatoes
definitely.
And carrots and potatoes.
You know, it's funny, not to interrupt, but I would not eat tomatoes before. I would not. And now that we grow our own, I love them. I will eat tomatoes.
Yeah, like the taste is night and day. You can get so, like, look at these.
Even our carrots.
Yes.
Very, very good.
So
I'll
good.
pick them and just clean it and eat it right away. I don't even peel them. I just eat them.
Yeah.
They're so good.
And I can't do that with store-bought carrots. I don't know. There's literally a taste difference.
They don't have a taste versus what you grow.
That is so true. And that's going to go into the soil nutrients. The soil is so depleted of nutrients. So when you are in your own garden and you're building up the soil, you're taking care of it, that goes into your food, which is really cool. So we're going to put this in. We have one more tray, and then we'll start on our brownies.
I think I have one more question.
Yeah.
So like, I just pulled these out of our garden yesterday and cut them, which was hard, and peeled a little bit. But my question is, does it matter? So they're kind of dry, but that's okay. You don't have to have them fresh that day. And
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you could have kept these in the fridge and then dehydrated them. You could have kept them on your counter, as long as they're not moldy, musty, smelly, going bad. So no, this is great.
Okay.
So let's put them in.
Okay,
Space.
that leads me to a question then. Let's say we wanted to do apples now.
Yeah.
Can you do the other 3 trays of a different fruit, or would it, the beets over?
So the thing
Do
with
the
that
taste?
is different foods are going to have different times and dehydration temps. Because apple's more juicy, it's going to have a longer time for dehydrating. Also, if you're like dehydrating onions or something that would have a smell, you would not want to dehydrate that with apples because it would permeate. I haven't had that issue with freeze drying. A lot of people think freeze drying. If you freeze dry onions, you are going to have that smell in your house. I haven't had that, but yeah.
Okay.
Different foods have different times, but if they had the same time, then you could make that call for yourself.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna go get our dehydrator started. You're excited?
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm really excited about
Wait,
this.
this is her first time dehydrating.
Yes.
So let's go do that. We have everything loaded up in our dehydrator. This is a Denali. I will put the link in the description for it. I absolutely love it because it is a beast. You can do a ton of produce all at once. Like if you have a big apple harvest or something, which I love doing, like apples, honey, and cinnamon. And then they make these perfect little apple chews, fruit leathers. But we are going to get our beet powder on the go right now. So all you do is you plug it in, and my mom was wondering, how do I know what temperature to do for how long? That is because there are certain recipes and times that you can follow that come along in the little book, or you can just look online. But again, because we have different sizes, the time is going to vary between the different sizes that are in here. So I just plugged it in. I'm going to press power. It says the temperature blinks on the screen. We want 122, which is a lower temperature. And then we are going to do 12 hours, and the time pops on the screen. And then we just let it go, and it's that simple. So we're gonna check on it in 12 hours, see how we're doing, and I have a feeling we're gonna have to add 3 to 6 more hours, but it'll be worth it. All right, we are now starting on our brownies, and something super exciting that I wanna point out. I made this vanilla with you guys January 28th, 2022. So almost, what, 3 years ago now? And I videoed it. Yeah, I made this vanilla and showed everybody how to make vanilla. It's just vanilla bean pods. And then I think we did Captain Morgan, and then you just let it sit and you shake it for a while. So this actually aged for 2 years. I don't think I pulled it out until this last January.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's really, really, do you want to smell it?
I do. Ooh.
I have some, I'll give you some.
Okay.
I've never given you vanilla?
No. I'll take it.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we already have our 9x9 pan greased. We have a double boiler of our chocolate chips ready to go, and we're gonna melt our butter in there. And the reason you do a double boiler is to make sure that the chocolate doesn't burn. Chocolate is very temperamental. If you're gonna have it directly on heat, it will burn really quickly, so double boiler helps it heat really gently because you get the boiling water in the bottom. The heat from the oven doesn't not directly touch the chocolate. So that's what we're gonna get started with. I got my oven turned on, and it's so important when you're doing a double boiler like this to just make sure that it isn't super hot water. What this is you have a pot, it has water in it, and then you have whatever you're melting above, and then it slowly melts and turns into a beautiful chocolate. And what I did was I melted the chocolate first and then added in the butter. Me and my mom, as you will see, had a good laugh about this because I should have done the butter first and then the chocolate, but it all turned out okay anyways. And while I had the chocolate going and it was melting into this beautiful, beautiful creamy chocolate sauce, I got all of my eggs and my sugar into my KitchenAid. Seriously, having a KitchenAid is so nice when you're doing little baking projects like this. I've had this for 5 or 6 years now. When I make brownies, I like to whip up the sugars and the eggs for about 10 minutes. It makes this beautiful meringue, and I feel like it gives the moisture into the brownies. So after the meringue whipped up for a while, we added in our chocolate sauce and our beets. So these beets again were just boiled, and we mixed that all together to make our batter before we add in the flour. All right, so we just got our meringue made. We had a good time doing this because we got to talking and laughing, and then we mixed some things up, but we got a meringue made, which you're supposed to do 2 eggs and a yolk, but I was going back and forth and we were blabbing, and then it became 3 eggs, and it's gonna be totally fine. And then the last thing we were blabbing on was the butter. The butter should have been melted first before we did the chocolate chips, and we were like, what did we do? But the chocolate turned out a-okay. It looks so beautiful, smells absolutely amazing. Be careful, this is hot. But yes, it is beautiful, just liquid goodness. And now we are going to add this into our egg and sugar meringue, and then we're going to add in the flour, the salt,
beets,
baking powder, and the beets.
Yep.
Yes, and then put them in the oven. So we've been having a good time, and that is what baking and cooking is about. So we're gonna load this up. So we have flour, salt, and baking powder in here, and I'm going to just pour it all in here, and then you fold it. You want to start folding?
Sure.
Okay, so it's not mixed, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you just fold it over.
Yep. Just a minute ago, she said, I don't know what folding is. Oh, you were just joking. So you just keep folding until it incorporates, and then we are going to pour this into our prepared baking pan.
No, I'm gonna be honest, in all my years of baking, I've never folded.
You've never folded? Yeah, you just fold in the flour until it's just mixed. You don't overmix it.
You don't overmix it, yeah.
This is some interesting brownie batter. Okay, so now we are going to pour the...
you have a little bit over here. I want to fold that in. Just saying.
Okay.
That looks really good.
It does look good. So we're going to pour it in here. So we've started pouring in. I will let you finish. Okay. I did half. You gonna do half.
Oh, these smell good.
They do smell really good. I'm just so curious how the beet is going to play into it. Like baked beet. But it's, a lot of people do it. And then we will bake these for 45 minutes. But I have a feeling they're gonna bake longer because they just seem really thick.
45 on 350?
45 on 350, yep. And then we will check them, and if they are done, we'll take them out.
Okay.
Oh, this looks beautiful. So these are thick and jiggly.
That's good.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of people don't do raw egg. I do raw egg. I even do raw egg in my milk.
You can't even taste the beet.
Really?
Yeah, you should try it a little bit. Like, good.
That is really good.
Just think of the health benefits that we've just put in our
Yeah,
brownies.
we're gonna have brownies with health benefits.
I know, right?
It has been about 50 minutes, and in that time we cleaned the kitchen, and it was a disaster. There was beet on the floor, beet on the counters, and beet is a natural dye, so you don't want to let it sit anywhere for too long because it could dye your stuff. But it was so worth it because
they smell so good.
They smell so good. And we kept checking the brownies with a butter knife, and just until there was just a little bit of brownie on, that's when we decided to pull them out. I feel like if you wait until there's nothing on the knife, it's a bit too late. So just until there's just a little, and they smell delicious. So we are going to plate up. My mom just scooped us a piece. We're gonna try it, and I'm so happy we took it out when we did. I think any longer it would have been not as fudgy.
Good.
Tastes like a brownie.
Can't even taste the beets.
No, you won't even
really
know that there's
good.
beets in this. That's actually really cool.
Really good.
I think it's really good. It's moist. You literally can't taste the beet. So if you have extra beets from your garden, you can make some brownies. It kind of reminds me of if you have extra zucchini from your garden, you can make apple crisp, apple pie, but use zucchini, and nobody's gonna tell the difference because they both sweeten up.
That's really good. These are good.
They are really good. They're kind of cakey too. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun coming back again.
No conspiracy theories today.
No.
And we will see you next time. And cheers to the brownies. So don't do anything a Gubba wouldn't do. And bye.
Take care.